Hey, what's going on, guys? Before we get into the video, I just wanted to address the fact that yes, I am skipping 5. I do own Black Ops 1, however, I just don't own a capture card for getting gameplay with the PlayStation 3, and I don't want to throw down money for one right now. So if I ever do get one, I will gladly look at 5. In the meantime, I'll just say I love 5. It's a really underrated map, and it's definitely worth a playthrough. I also don't want to just get gameplay from Classified because I feel like that's one of the maps where it's different enough that it deserves its own video eventually. With that being said, let's get into this video. Ascension is actually a very fitting name for this map. While playing through the first few Zombies map, we realize how basic they truly are. They're glimpses of what the game would eventually become, yeah, but there's no major footsteps that are taken. Ascension can be seen as the end of the World at War chapter of Zombies and the true beginning of the Black Ops 1 era of Zombies. For the past 6 maps, we would really see the Zombies formula take shape. We'd see perks added, wonder weapons created, and the addition of Pack-a-Punch. But how does Ascension manage to put all of these past ideas together while still becoming something of its own? That's what we're going to talk about today as we discuss the map layout, map features, and positive and negatives from Call of Duty Black Ops 1's very first DLC, Ascension. Kicking things off with the map layout, Ascension features the most unique start to the Zombies map thus far. The intro to this map features our characters flying down using a lunar lander where we are then placed into spawn. You'll notice that the color scheme for this map is also non-existent, literally, as the map starts off as black and white. And I guess given how ugly Kino and Nox color palettes can be, you can't make Ascension colors ugly if Ascension has no color to begin with. Spawn is filled with your usual suspects, your wall weapons, your quick revive, your box spawn, and what is that? This spawn also features a huge Doldonic swinging thing that spins around every few minutes, killing all the zombies and the player in the way. Like most spawn rooms, this one features 2 different ways to go. If we choose to go up the stairs, we're going to go to the first lunar lander spot. This area is massive and it's perfect for training. In this little corner here, we also have a new perk called PhD Flopper. And what's PhD Flopper, I hear you ask? Well, the perk serves 2 basic features. Number 1, as you can see, I'm shooting these Pack-a-Punch Colts at the floor and I'm taking damage. Well, PhD Flopper completely covers you from splash damage. The impact of this cannot be understated, as it makes things like Mustang and Sally and the ray gun extremely overpowered, as they are able to get you out of a lot of tight situations. In addition, the perk also takes away fall damage and gives you the ability to flop. By going to a high platform and dolphin diving off, the player is going to release a small explosion that will kill surrounding zombies. From this lander, we can then travel to the power room. The bottom of this building connects to the spawn, and this is also where a jug is located. Once you make it to the power room, we can then turn on the power and restore color to this map. We can make our way down the staircase, and we have Mule Kick, and then we have a staircase that leads up to Speed Cola, as well as the lunar lander location and the sickle. The sickle does the exact same thing that the Bowie knife does. I'd argue it just looks a little bit cooler because, you know, Russia. Going back a little closer to spawn, we can see this door where we are then introduced to another new perk, Stamina. This perk is also helpful as it increases the duration of sprint for only 2,000 points, and if we open the door near Stamina Up, it leads to yet another lunar lander. But what do these lunar landers do? Well, by riding this one, and this one, you can then return to the power room and push this button. This button will then begin a rocket launch sequence. Seeing this in-game is very cool, and if you have an explosive gun, you can even blow up the rocket, which is a neat feature, and you're rewarded with a double points. Once the rocket is shot off, if we go to these stairs, we can go into this area that once housed the rocket, and then we are greeted by our old pal Pack-a-Punch, and the room itself is quite large and it offers a great training area on top of the already mentioned lunar lander spot. As you can see by how long this section took, Ascension is pretty much Treyarch's very first big Zombies map, and while maps like Kino or Doris are not small, there is definitely a noticeable jump in size when we get to Ascension. However, I would argue that Kino and Doris are average size. You know what? Actually, these maps are pretty large. Hell, I'd even go as far as saying that Kino and Doris' map size is a little bit too much for Zombies. Moving on to map features, if you've been watching my past Zombies videos, then a fair amount of these map features are going to sound extremely familiar. The Pack-a-Punch machine makes a return to this map along with Juggernaut, Speed Cola, and Quick Revive. Interesting enough, Double Tap is left out of this map on Black Ops 1, however, it is featured in Black Ops 3 via the Wonder Fizz machine. As previously stated, this map features 2 new perks, that being Stamina Up and PhD Flopper. However, PhD Flopper was taken out of the Black Ops 3 version in favor of Widow's Wine. PhD Flopper being removed from maps was commonplace for Black Ops 2 and 3 as Treyarch realized just how overpowered the perk made the player. As far as wonder weapons go, this map features the return of the ray gun and the thunder gun. How original. What is original, however, is the inclusion of 2 new grenade types that replace the monkey bomb. First up, we have the Matryoshka dolls. These little shits are okay, but they're basically glorified frag grenades. And we also have Gersh devices. These things are great as they're basically little black hole grenades that you can throw and watch suck off everything in its way. Finally, this map also features an Easter egg quest called the Casimir Mechanism. I've never done this Easter egg before, and I'll probably never do it, and the reward is just a 90-second death machine. Quite shit if you ask me. And that's all for the map features, right? Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I love monkeys. I love videos of them eating. I love videos of them getting their hair cut. I love how curious they can be. They're essentially tiny, hairy humans, and I love them so dearly. So imagine how awful space monkeys in Ascension must be for me to utterly despise the existence of these little fucks. Space monkeys take the spot of hellhounds on Ascension, so every 5 or so rounds you're going to hear a siren and the sky turns red. Then space monkeys fall from the sky and you can hear the ooh ooh ah ahs of Russian space monkeys. The setup for the monkey round is actually pretty well done. It's not scary, but it builds anticipation that something new is coming and it's pretty cool. These little guys are going to target perk machines all around the map and beat up the perks until the player loses it, and the only way to stop them is to send these little hairy boys back to the hell that they came from. If you kill every single monkey in one round without letting them hit a single perk machine, then you get a free random perk and a max ammo. Sounds cool, right? Wrong. Remember earlier when I said how big this map is? Well, it becomes an issue if a player has, let's say, Jug and Speed Cola. There's no way that you can defend both of these perks if you're playing this game solo, since the map is just so large and it doesn't really feature a fast travel that can get a player around instantly, meaning that you'll have to A, just deal with the fact that you'll have to rebuy perks over and over again, or B, only buy Jug and Quick Revive, as those are essential perks and are relatively close to each other. This is sort of improved on Black Ops 3 as the players can use the Wonder Fizz in order to get Double Tap and Deadshot, and the monkeys can't take those because they don't have a physical perk machine to attack. But come on, Double Tap is cool, but Deadshot. Enough said. As for positives of the map, due to the size and the amount of stuff to do on this map, it can really be seen as the first modern zombies map. It has an Easter egg that has a bit more to it than Derice did, and this is something that would become expected in further maps as Easter eggs got more and more in depth. Speaking of Derice, if you remember that video, great. If not, the Fragrance Kit makes an appearance, so go watch it. But in that video, I said how Derice created a winning zombies formula where there is one main area in the map and then 3 branching off areas. The formula for this map is the exact same, where the building would spawn in the power is sort of your main area, and then all the lunar lander spots are your branching out areas, and this plays into some really great map progression. And this map also has no shortage of really good training spots. Whether you want to train in spawn, the lunar lander spots, or the pack-a-punch room, this map is extremely spacious and really easy to get around in. So while Ascension is personally not my favorite zombies map by any means, if someone told me that they loved Ascension, I could totally see why. As far as negatives go, while this map is really good, there's a few things that I do want to address. Like I said, this map is huge and normally that's not an issue. However, Zombies is filled with a lot of larger scale maps, but this one in particular is hard to get around in because most of the time if you are playing on a big map, you can buy stamina up to compensate for this. But here, stamina up is also a waste simply because it's nearly impossible to defend every perk you have during the monkey rounds, and it's 2,000 points to keep on rebuying it. I know I talked about how spacious the map is and I said that it was a good thing, and don't get me wrong, it is a really good thing, but this map is just way too easy, and that's due in part to the space but also because of the inclusion of the Thunder Gun. The Thunder Gun is really good, and as we talked about on Kino, this gun is going to get you out of most situations that you find yourself in, and that's great for new players who want an easy time, but it gets boring for other players who want some sort of challenge. I know you're not asking me what I would do to improve this, but I'm going to tell you what I would do to improve Ascension anyway. I would pretty much take the Thunder Gun out, and I would put the Thunder Gun in 5 since that map is a lot more close quarters, and honestly, I would put the Winter's Howl in Ascension, because, you know, Russia. And just like that, we've wrapped up Ascension. When getting gameplay for this video, this was a map that I was kind of meh about, but after playing it, I was reminded of how good and influential that this map really is to the Zombies series. This isn't the best Zombies map of all time, I don't even think it's better than Derice, but this map is an essential cornerstone to the Zombies franchise, and it's solid enough that if you haven't played it in a while, go back and replay it. It's really fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to always stay up to date with whatever I got coming up next. And as always, take care.